Oh my goodness. So welcome back to Elevate Your Business Mindset. And this is an awesome opportunity for us to talk a little bit about what might be getting in the way of you being visible in your business and dropping some gems for you. I think it's my commitment to myself and to you for the summer to show up and drop some more gems in the community. And today's going to be dope, right? I think if you've ever felt stuck or unsure of where to start or kind of hesitant when it comes to putting yourself out there to talk about your expertise, to talk about your business, to just kind of show up and share your passions with the world, then I think this is going to be a great conversation for you. And I am excited to get into it with you. My name is Amanda Flood, and I'm a licensed therapist, but I'm also a business coach for Black women in business. And I love to lend you the skills and tools that you need to really show up and be in your expertise. And today is going to be no different. And I'm excited for what we're going to cover today. I hope you're excited too. I think for a lot of us, we have a hard time just showing up. Right. And I think it shows up in different parts of our lives, not just in our business. I was having a conversation today with someone, and she was explaining about the sense of belonging. And when she does not feel like she belongs in a space because of the color of her skin, or because of just a sense of whether or not she belongs in the room, and that imposter syndrome kind of feeling, when that shows up, she hesitates. She does not speak up. And what she's realizing, it's almost like she's drowning within herself. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience of not feeling like you belong in the room and kind of pulling back. And it made sense for me. And it was like fire for this conversation, because so much of us, we have so much to give in terms of our gifts, our purpose, and our expertise. But because we don't feel like we belong or fit into spaces, we kind of second guess ourselves a bit, right? So today I wanted to look at what it's doing for your business, honey, and what to really do about it. So we're going to talk about getting visible, and I may show up at different points this summer, I think, to talk about this. But today I wanted to look at this side of it, the fear and hiding your genius, your gifts, and your expertise. And what I want to start off with is this right here: turning your purpose and dreams into actionable goals, right? So how do we do that? And that's what we're going to look at. And I think what's important to know is there's so many things, but I think to get to the goal, you've got to kind of reevaluate the purpose part of it, right? You really got to come back to, what is my purpose, right? And purpose sometimes is a big deal. And I think you know it, or you're in alignment with it when things are just kind of going well. Right. And you know that you're not when you have this sense of, wow, there's just something more that I feel like I could be doing. And it's just not a great place to be in when you're not aligned with your purpose, right? I think when I stepped away from my job of over 10 years, I didn't feel like I was aligned with that purpose anymore. So it made sense for me to kind of figure out what that meant and where I needed to be. I told someone right before I left, it felt like a slow death. And I don't want that for you. I think when you're not aligned with your purpose, it feels like part of you is dying, right? So how do you find that purpose? Well, there's a couple things that you can do and a couple questions that you can ask. When I was working on this for myself, shifting from the space of being a professional and moving into the space of entrepreneur and figuring out how to do some things for myself, I had to make a lot of shifts. And part of that was thinking about going from what I really enjoyed and what I loved, my purpose, and turning that into something practical as an entrepreneur. And that's a skill in itself, right? And I think once you have that down, then you can look at, okay, well, who do I talk to? Who's my people? And how do I then show up to tell them about what we do, right? Because essentially, if you don't talk about what you do, people will not know it. So we've got to figure out how to get clear on our goals, our purpose, and our mission, right? If you don't know what you want to stand for, who will? So I think a good place to start with that, I'm going to give you some questions to kind of work through that. And one of the first questions is, like, what is it that you want to do in the first place? Like, what is your goal as a service provider? What is your goal as a consultant? What is your goal as an entrepreneur? And I think you really want to tap into those things because it's going to guide you in whatever your next step is. So starting with, what's the impact that you want to have, and what's your goal around that? So when I left, I know for me, it was about, I wanted to serve more people and I wanted to do it with more ease, right? Without just like the red tape and the technical part of it. And I wanted to know that I was really making a difference for people. And that was just getting harder to see because of just all the demands and constraints and things that comes with working with a system and institution. It has its limits. It has its gains, but it has its limits. So I had to now figure out, okay, what's the impact that I want to have as a therapist, right? And as I'm stepping into the space as an entrepreneur, what do I want that to look like? So that's something that you can jot down, okay? And when you have that, then come back to, okay, like what's the impact that I want to have a little bit more specifically now with the folks that you want to work with, right? Do you want to work with kids? Do you want to work with women? Do you want to work with, divorcees? Like, who are your people? And what's the impact that you feel like that you want to have or that you can have? That's another thing that you can look at as you're thinking about your purpose, right? And how you want to show up. Expanding on that, how do you see yourself helping them? Okay, and how do you see yourself being of benefit to them? What is the problem that you solve? For me, it was really using my skills as a therapist now in this space of serving on a bigger scale. So still in the realm of my expertise, which was anxiety, helping people heal from trauma, depression, which usually just comes with that bag of tricks anyway. So I was going to stay in that realm. But what started to shift for me was the population or who I wanted to work with. So not just for communities of color, I recognized I really love working with women and not seeing them at the couch when things were crazy, but I really love working with them in this capacity of, okay, let's get you what you need so you don't need to be on the couch. Because a lot of times we end up in this dysfunctional space because we don't have the skills to navigate life sooner. So I wanted to make sure that women of color in particular got the skills to support their mindset, to be able to think through situations, to be able to see the anxiety, see the fear, but not let it compromise the things that they wanted to do. And that's how I shifted into this coaching space, because it gave me more space to be able to work with women in that way, and especially around showing up in their purpose or building their businesses, because now their business is really an extension of their purpose, right? So that made sense for me. So you got to think about what makes sense for you and who you want to talk to and how that's going to work for you. Okay. So the other aspect to that, I think once you have that going, that's a really good place to start. I think once you have that, I would then go with, okay, so, this is what I love to do. This is who I love to serve. What's my next steps, right? I think it's good to have goals around your purpose, and we want to turn your purpose into action. So we want to have, the goal for what you want to do, right? While you're shifting into this direction anyway, the impact, who I want to serve, who I enjoy serving and in what capacity, and really think about like who needs it. Okay. I think that's a really good place to think about, because now we've got like a flowing direction. And then once we have all of that, we want to really break it down back to you now, right? What are the key steps or tasks that you need to help your people get there? So often when I'm working with my mastermind folks, for example, we come up with a 90-day plan and we work from that plan, because you've got to have like clear goals, right? So for example, let's say your goal is to like finally make some money in your business and whatever X amount that is. So if we broke that down per month, month one might be, okay, I've got to get my idea and do some research on it and create something around it. And that would be the thing that helps me make some money, right? Month two might be, okay, I want to test and promote my idea and see how I'm going to capture clients, or maybe I'm going to develop something that I put out there to capture clients. Month three might be, how I am like kind of sharing that with people now? What are the aspects of my program now that brings people in, or my product that brings people in, or that serves people? So we're going from this goal of what I want to do, impact that I want to have, who I'm serving, to now a clear plan that allows you to execute that, right? I hope that's kind of making sense. I'm like off the fly from my notes, but I think I'm getting you the points that you really need to get started going from like purpose to action, because really that's the big thing. And we want to break purpose down into manageable steps, like kind of small pieces and small phases, because that helps to take away the overwhelm, and it gives you a roadmap to stay on track each week. When I think about like the mindset and motivation community, it's really designed as a way to be self-accountable too, because every week I ask you guys, what are your goals? And we may ask that in different ways, but it's still the same idea. And we ask you that so that it can click for you, like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be working on something. Going back to my 90-day plan, like, where am I this month? What should I be doing this week? Right? It's that click, like, oh yeah, let me be intentional this week. What do I need to work on to move my purpose along, to move my goals along? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going back. So you got it. Write down that goal, write down that purpose, write down that intention. And you want to get to the point that you can create some really good goals around it, because it's going to become your action steps to move forward. Okay. And that's going to be key for you. As you think about moving forward, as you think about showing up, like the fears may come up for sure. So, but I want you to just take notice of that fear. You know, why is it showing up for you in the first place, right? Fear is healthy, but it can certainly be disarming of your purpose. So tune into what it's doing. Is it helping you to move forward, or is that fear keeping you stagnant? Right? When we think about, you know, for a lot of women, this comes up again, like this fear of belonging. That fear, which may have come up because of different aspects of your life, can translate into your business. If I don't feel like my idea is great, it's this sense of I don't feel like it belongs and I'm not going to share it. If I feel like I'm not good enough, again, that sense of belonging, I'm not going to show up. You know, so we've got to tune into how fear is showing up for us as well, because for a lot of us, it's impacting the work that we want to do and how we want to show up. And we can't get visible without tapping into that part too. This is both strategy and mindset, because both are essential to you having a successful business and just feeling successful yourself on a deeper level. All right. So just a quick little off the fly coaching nugget for you. I hope this was helpful as you think about, you know, elevating your business and your mindset and what's going on with your purpose and making it more actionable for you. That was my goal with this conversation today. And, you know, we're really looking at getting visible, but starting from this place of like the fear, as we talked about with belonging and what's holding you back. And turning your purpose and dreams into actionable goals. And we looked at how to break that down. So if I were to recap for you and give you some homework, this would be like my mini actions, I think, from, you know, just from today's conversation. Let's see, I would say to think about how belonging or other fears are showing up for you, right? So we're dabbling on this side here in terms of fear and hiding. Think about that and start to maybe journal around that. Right. So the sense of wanting to be a part of something or wanting to be seen, or maybe the fear resonates differently for you, start there, think about that, right? Because that's the mindset work. Okay. And if it's something that you regularly get stuck on in terms of your growth, the fear, definitely that's something to get more coaching on, right? So we can connect on that. The second mini action for you is going to be around visibility. So visibility in this case is going to start with your purpose. And you may have written out your purpose before, but this is a great reminder to write it again. What is my purpose now? Because your purpose also evolves. Like who you were and what you wanted to be and what you felt called to do when you were younger may look different than what it looks now. When you were younger, a lot of it was about other people and the vision they had for you and what you felt you needed to do because of that influence. I think as you evolve as a woman becoming herself, honey, right, that purpose can evolve. The calling might look different now. So we want to tune into what that calling is now and how I need to respond to it now. So write it down. What is it that's showing up for you now in terms of your purpose and your calling? Then after you've defined it or redefined it, be clear on who you're targeting. What is it I have to offer them? Who is it that I want to offer this to? How are they going to best benefit from me, right? If I'm offering knowledge, experience, and wisdom as a parent, or as a parenting coach, that's not going to be the same for someone that needs support with like social media, right? So that's not going to be my person. That's not who I'm targeting. So we want to get clear on that purpose and who it is that we're targeting. So that could be a good second action step for you. And then the third would be now taking this purpose into a plan or actionable goals. So if I know this is who I want to talk to, if I know this is what I want to share, now I want to think about, okay, what are my goals for that? Maybe set a couple of major goals, like 3 major goals. Then I want you to break that down into a couple of actionable steps. So the doable things that I can do, right? So you can almost develop your own 90-day plan, okay? So if that makes sense. And remember, if you're in the mindset and motivation community, you've got that weekly accountability where every week we check in with you on your goals. You can use that to help you stay aligned with your goals around your purpose and showing up in that way. Again, know yourself. If you know, like, yo, even with the reminders or with me, like listening to this conversation, I'm still not going to do it, then set yourself up to be successful, not to fail. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to beat yourself down knowing that it's really hard for you to follow through. Use that information. Why is it hard for me to follow through? Well, I don't know. I don't like getting up. Cool. Find yourself a partner that if you know they're waiting for you to get up, that's going to help you to get up. Do that. Right? If I know, okay, I don't work well in the morning, I'm not going to schedule stuff for me to do in the morning. My big heavy duty goal lifting won't be in the morning. Maybe I work better midday. That's when it's going to happen for me. So don't beat yourself up for what you can or cannot do. Use it to guide you so you can set yourself up to be successful, right? If you know you don't work well by yourself, find yourself an accountability partner. Get connected with an accountability group like the Goal Slayers Mastermind. Find yourself a coach that you know you've got these consistent sessions or appointments that you've got to answer to. If that external support works for you, work with that. All right. Okay, I feel like I gave you more than I intended, but it all flows together and it helps you to connect back to this place of turning your purpose and dreams into actionable steps. And from there, taking all of that so that you can get visible and, show up, tell the world what you do. Because someone needs your gifts and expertise, honey. So you can't keep sitting on it, okay? So if you have questions, let me know. Drop it in the chat. My name is Amanda Flood. I am your mindset coach and psychotherapist, and really using those skills to help you be your best selves in online spaces in particular. Love working with my coaches, my consultants, my therapists, my creatives. Like, y'all are my women, Black women in business. Like, I am for you. You are for me. Let's talk. All right, good stuff. Even if this was like information you knew already, let me know. If one bit of it was helpful, let me know. Drop it in the chat, right? And again, I'll keep showing up to drop some quick little gems for you. I'm going to stop talking so it stays short and sweet. All right. Until we meet again and chat about visibility, your mindset, and your business. I'll talk to you guys soon. All the best.